Hello, we're the History Hikers. I am Dries.
And I'm Jente.
And we are standing in front of the Waterburcht van Pietersheim in Lanaken, Limburg, Belgium.
Yes, maybe we should say what a Waterburcht is.
What is a Waterburcht, Jente?
It's a moated fort, but this one also has a curtain wall.
Cool. So what else?
What else? Well, maybe not about a castle, but the lords of Pietersheim. They were very powerful in these areas, and they also fought in the Battle of the Gilded Spurs, or the Gildesporenslag in Dutch, which to this day still is celebrated as the Flemish holiday.
National holiday?
Well, not national, because
we're not a nation.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird though, because we're at the...
Thank you, geese.
We're at the opposite side of the country, so that means the lords of Pietersheim would have had to travel all the way to Kortrijk, which is some 200 kilometers from here. Interesting. Let's check out the castle. The medieval castle of Pietersheim is located close to the river Meuse, which is the Maas in Dutch. It is part of the municipality of Lanaken in the Belgian province Limburg. The name Pietersheim is derived from the person's name Pieter and the Proto-Germanic word Heima, meaning house or home. So Pietersheim would have been the home of someone named Peter.
Ninth century Lanaken was the place where the livestock of Charlemagne would graze when he was residing in Aachen. A motte was constructed in the nearby hamlet of Pietersheim, then called the Borgergraaf. In the 11th century a new seigneury was created. Despite Lanaken being the larger and more important town of this new barony, the name Pietersheim was chosen. The lords of Pietersheim answered to the Count of Loon.
The motte would be replaced by a moated castle called Waterburcht in Dutch, around the year 1180. Around the same time, the nearby Abbey of Hocht was founded by Diederik van Pietersheim. The abbey would grow to be an important abbey in the region and would be the final resting place for the nobles of Pietersheim.
The 12th century castle would have consisted of the island we see today, surrounded by earthen walls, topped with a wooden palisade. The most important structures dating back to this time are the gatehouse and the chapel. It is believed that there would also have been a donjon or keep, though researchers have found no traces of this.
From 1227 onwards, the lords of Pietersheim were some of the most powerful vassals of the Count of Loon. The lords of Pietersheim were also present at the Battle of the Golden Spurs in 1302. Because of their increasing power in the 13th century, there was a need to enlarge the castle. At the north side of the chapel, an extra building was constructed, probably a home for the castle chaplain. Next to that, a square garrison tower was constructed. Opposite to the gatehouse, an impressive palace was built, the residence to the Lord of Pietersheim.
These years of prosperity came to an abrupt halt in 1378. The castle was taken and partially destroyed by militias from Liège and Tongres. The red marks on the garrison tower and the annex to the chapel still attest to the fires that raged after the destruction. The castle was left abandoned and half ruined for several decades afterwards.
In 1410, the castle of Pietersheim passed into the hands of the lords of Moated through marriage. The de Moated family ordered the rebuilding of the ruined fortress into a high Gothic residential castle. The ramparts were rebuilt, the gates were reinforced with a new stone bridge and drawbridge, and an extra tower was added to the gate tower. The chapel gained 2 extra floors and lost its Romanesque look.
In 1576, Jan IX van Merode van Pietersheim ordered extra fortifications to be built to stave off a possible Spanish invasion. 2 rectangular casemates were constructed. The holes in the castle walls also date to this period. They were meant to allow cannons to shoot through the holes. Sadly, the Spanish were still able to capture the castle a couple of years later. The Duke of Parma and Spanish General Alexander Farnese would reside in Pietersheim during the siege of Maastricht in 1579. The castle was returned to the lords of Pietersheim in 1587, severely damaged and plundered. It would never again be used as a residence.
The castle would be used as a hunter's castle and management was left to a steward. Remains of the steward's residence were found in the space between the gatehouse and the chapel. The castle would remain in use seasonally until 1797, when the new chateau was constructed right next door. The moated castle would remain in use as farm buildings, but gradually fell prey to decay. That was the castle of Pietersheim in Lanaken. Very impressive, I think.
Yeah.
The video inside the museum is really interesting.
Well, the museum in itself is quite interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not... You don't have to expect like a big modern museum, but there are like all these little boxes with archaeological finds and... I don't know.
It's free.
It's free.
Yeah. Time for the arbitrary, subjective castle score. I'm gonna go with a 7, I think. That's yeah, not bad.
I think I go for 7.5.
7.5.
I don't know, just the fact that it's a location so close to where we live. I don't know, I'm a little bit biased towards it. That's 7.5.
Okay. Yeah. 7 and a 7.5.
Yes.
Quite a good castle. Come check it out. We're the History Hikers. Thank you for watching. If you like this video,
like, comment, subscribe, and all that good YouTube stuff.
thank you so much, and until next time.
Bye.